And since waging war is so costly in blood and treasure, we owe our republic a military that will win any war we choose or any war that is thrust upon us. Should our enemies choose foolishly to challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, and ferocity of the War Department. In other words, to our enemies, FAFO. If necessary, our troops can translate that for you. Another way to put it is peace through strength, brought to you by the warrior ethos. And we are restoring both. As President Trump has said, and he's right, we have the strongest, most powerful, most lethal, and most prepared military on the planet. That is true, full stop. Nobody can touch us. It's not even close. This is true largely because of the historic investments that he made in his first term, and we will continue in this term. But it's also true because of the leaders in this room and the incredible troops that you all lead. But the world, and as the chairman mentioned, our enemies get a vote. You feel it, I feel it. This is a moment of urgency, mounting urgency. Enemies gather, threats grow. There is no time for games. We must be prepared. If we're going to prevent and avoid war, we must prepare now. We are the strength part of peace through strength. And either we're ready to win or we are not.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rachach Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone who taught me this truth, and much respect to the Akim of their labor in his work, and peace and salutation to the hopefully elect who are scattered abroad in the USA. Shalom. So as always, when we do these videos, it's really strictly for the ones who are the household of faith, those who understand what this truth is really all about and have laid down their lives to do the will of Yahweh Shema Shah, man, seeking to be pardoned in a time of judgment, And we can definitely see that time coming, as today is currently the Day of Atonement. A lot of things transpire today. You got the government shutdown that's taking place. And you also had these devils who are beginning to make manifest their true intentions, which is to wage war against the inhabitants, man, and primarily you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. They'll link you up into, so-called immigrants and criminals in these cities. And, we can see the day approaching, the day of Jacob's trouble approaching clearly. And so, again, going back to those who understand what the truth is all about, we're looking to be atoned, all right? We're looking to be atoned and forgiven for our iniquities, saying that trouble is near, all right? We need protection from Yahweh Shema Shah. And so, yeah, this guy right here, Pete Headself, okay, gave a grand speech. He called up 800, U.S. generals to speak about reestablishing that war spirit within the military, in which they're about to send these troops into these different cities to tackle crime per se, and so we know behind the scenes, these devils are looking to pretty much wage war against a woman. The dragon is looking to wage war against Israel and primarily those who had this testimony. So, we understand what times we're in, man. All right. That's why we're seeking for mercy. It's 444. Call Halal Yahweh Shema Shah. So, yeah. From the New Republic, head self-summoned military leaders to say FAFO in disturbing speech. All right. FAFO. You don't know what that means. Let's read on. The leaders of America's armed forces risk U.S. national security Tuesday in order, Slovakia, to taunt the Trump administration perceived foreign enemies. Speaking to the country's top military commanders during an unprecedented mandatory in-person assembly, Pete Hegseth emphasized that the recently renamed War Department was reimagined for a reason. "Quote unquote, to our enemies, FAFO," Hegseth said, using an acronym that translates to fuck around and find out, right? So basically, this is very heavy, and these devils are getting ready to show what they're really all about. So, as they do this, we're praying for what? We're praying to be protected, because these devils are looking to wage war again against a woman. Let's get this real quick. Revelation 12 and verse 17. So it says, "And the dragon was wroth with a woman." And we heard the speech also from this guy. I forget his name, Stephen, something like that. Stephen Miller, who said that pretty much that we have awakened the dragon, or the people have awakened the dragon. So they know exactly who they are, man. So the dragon, which is, the Roman Empire, and this guy mentioned something about Rome as well. So that's a dragon revived in the form of America, Babylon the Great. It says, "And the dragon was wroth with the woman." Who was that woman? That's Israel. "And went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High, and have the testimony, of Yahushua HaMashiach." And one of the statements that this guy made is that, within the military, there will be no more beardos, people with beards. And these are subtle shots at the men of the Lord. I perceive, speaking as a man, but these devils are looking, they understand, they know what we teach, and they're looking to wage war against those who are speaking out against the system. So by default, we're looking to be atoned and covered when the Lord unleashes these death angels. All right. So what the Lord is getting ready to do is really showcase his wrath, through the sword, which is Esau. All right. Matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. Psalm 17 and 13. It says, "Arise, O Lord, and disappoint him." What are they saying? We're going to conquer our enemies. We're going to defeat them. All right. "Cast him down, Esau. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." See? So we're looking to be delivered from Esau, which is the sword of Most High, that's getting ready to be unleashed against, Jake, man. All right. So Sirach, or Ecclesiastes 18 in verse 20, here it says, "Before judgment, examine thyself. In the day of visitation, thou shalt find mercy." See, because the Lord is finna visit Jake. But in that time, we want to find mercy. We want to be pardoned. Skip on down. 24, it says, "Think upon the wrath that should be at the end, in the time of vengeance, when he should turn away his face." Because the mercy that was extended, through the prophets is getting ready to be taken away. All right. So first, the warning went out. And now, when the warning goes out, once that's accomplished, Salakia, then comes the judgment. So Jake's going to find out the hard way. Once these troops in the cities and martial law is declared. And basically what they're saying is that these troops are going to have their way. They're going to have their way with Jake. All right. So part of that protection is having the angels, all right, on our side. All right. You got these devils boasting their military might, but they fail to realize that, there's an outside source that's not this world that's protecting the elect, which links up with what Daniel, the 12th chapter, verse 1, the time of the end. Try to get bad. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, will stand up for the children of thy people. All right, Michael the archangel. And there should be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, the elect, and everyone that shall be found written in the book. See, it's going to get so bad that we're going to need, the angels stepping in on our behalf to fight these devils, man. So Isaiah 31:3. Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High. All right. So these, uh, uh military generals, in their armies or whatever, they're just men, flesh and not spirit. And their horses, flesh and not the spirit. Right. So basically, yeah, they got the tanks and all of that, but yeah, we got chariots. So when the Lord Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, which Yahweh shine, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that's hoping shall fall down together, and they shall fail together. So basically, divine intervention is going to be, initiated on the behalf of the elect to come in for us to fight against these devils, man. All right. Let's skip on down verse 5 to the point. So as birds flying, so will the Lord Yahweh of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also he will deliver it, and passing over he will preserve it. And that's what we're looking for, to be passed over. See, the day is the atonement, and we see the trouble that's coming, and we want that Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, verse 4, which is that mark from exemption. So in Ezekiel 94, and the Lord Yahweh by Shemashai said unto him, go to the midst of the city, to the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, of all the abomination that be done in the midst thereof. Pretty much speaking out against his system. And to the others he said in mine hearing, and go ye after him, right? Go after the death angel. After the sealing angel. It says, go ye after him through the city and smite, and let not your eyes spare, and neither have ye pity. All right. So those who don't have this mark, which means that you're going to be exempt from judgment, the Lord's going to send for death angels at you, man, in the form of Esau, his military, and by any other means. Strong's H8419, it says a mark as a sign as an exemption from judgment, and that's you being covered and atoned for in the time of evil. All right, you understood the report, you know what to pray for, which is mercy, and the Lord will reward you with that, in the time of evil, man. Right? So let's get this real quick and we'll close it out. Ecclesiastes 33:1. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation, even again, he will deliver him. We're going to be thrown into some shit. We're going to be sought after, pursued, but ultimately, the Lord's going to protect us from these devils, man, as we inquired. So, I just want to go through that real quick, man. Get ready. The government shut down. You got 800 troops who were called up for a meeting. These devils getting ready for something. Talking about T attacks. So all hell's getting ready to break loose very soon. Seek mercy. Shalom.